please welcome Matthew Hart.
Thanks, Ben. Good morning, everybody. That's it, passion, persistence and being open to possibilities. One of the things that I've learned and become used to being part of my life over the years. I've had three major influences in my life, apart from getting married and having great kids and things like that. They were obviously working at BNI 20 years, gave me a great insight into dealing with customers and people, but then as the owner working with staff, and the other being a love of basketball. We talked about Australian Boomers. I've been playing basketball for 32 years and coaching over the last sort of 10 or so, so that has brought influences into my life and the way I've dealt with people, and especially staff over the years. Really has had a big impact on my outlook on that. So in terms of being a coach in that environment rather than a boss. And the third was, as I said, being open to possibilities. And the third was when Loretta said, came home after girls' weekend telling me she wasn't happy once. And that led to some major life changes for us and the way we view things and our outlook on life. So Vanloons is and was a very successful business for us, but the transition and the way we looked at life became more important. So my gardening essentially started here. This is a shrub that used to be our automatic wicketkeeper in our backyard at home. It smells terrible, that's how I remember it. Dive and get tennis balls out of it as my brother and I were playing. And my grandparents and my parents all had gardens, so exposure to gardening and gardens was from a very young age. And I've had very fond memories of that involvement, seeing plants being put in, looked after, cared for, tomatoes grown to the point where my parents were making bottles and bottles of tomato sauce and things like that. Has had a great influence on where I am, to the point where I do that myself now in creating my own gardens. This is my front garden. That ability to think beyond the scope of somebody's yard to what's available to them. This was the perfect position for my gardening to be. My veggie garden, it has the northwest sun. My backyard has some veggies growing in it, but it wasn't ideal. But so thinking outside the square and being open to possibilities creates positions where we can do sort of things. So the garden coach grew out of some time off from the nursery. I'd had 6 months doing nothing, baking bread, brewing beer, doing great things like that, spending time with Loretta in an environment where we had no other pressure, which was really valuable. And then thinking about what I enjoy most and things like that, the gardening, but also that coaching environment that I have had through my basketball and other aspects of my life, was a key to putting together this new business around providing an environment that clients could learn and grow in their own garden setting. A coach, as a basketball coach, you go to training and you teach kids a skill so that when they're on court they can get out there and make decisions for themselves. And so in the garden, my aim is to do similar sort of things. One of the things that we try to do at home is actually grow something, and lots of plants and veggies particularly. So we get to harvest something every day of the year. This year we haven't quite done that this winter. Having said that though, I think I had about 15 pumpkins we grew this year, and I've still got 10 left in the shed, so we have pumpkin a fair bit at the moment. luckily we like it. And because we've grown it, the kids are eating it. So there's that sort of relationship we have. And building on that, I've made sauces and pestos and pickles and things like that, which we've also get to experience this time of year. So I live out what I try and bring to people's gardens. So I step up like you would with kids or clients or employees. Everyone has their own story, everyone has their own outlook on life. I've gotten used to it over the years, being able to walk into an environment where I can accept somebody's opinion about what they would like. If someone would like to plant a particular plant in their garden, I can help them make that happen. I'll be fairly honest, if I don't think it'll work and it'll die. But I'll also, if they're dead set keen, I'll give them instructions on how to do that too. So it's important that we get to do that. Some of these garden beds have grown and given me a really great insight, and it's that change that Loretta and I made, and doing something that goes to our future was really important to us, and it was our vision of creating that positive change in our own lives. So the Garden Coach is born out of that, and that's where we are today. We provide instruction, we give people information on their garden so they're able to make decisions when they're buying plants, when they're choosing where to put things, so they have a basic understanding of what to do. I provide support in terms of the information they get on the day, so whether it's a list of information of specifically what to do, a sketch on a particular aspect of their garden, or a plan that they can follow out so they can get stuck into the garden that weekend. Part of that instantness as I have around a basketball game, calling kids in through a timeout, seeing them back out again with instructions about how things happen quickly. Most people want to be able to act on something, the information they get quickly into their garden. They get excited, I get them excited, they want to act on it. So this is how we do that. And also have great referral partners. All right, Derek, I've been able to refer to a number of clients who've been fantastic. And also Rebecca, the residential landscaper in Wednesday morning group, has been awesome for me as well. People like that give me scope to offer a broader experience for people. So thank you, Derek. And we had a property that I went through first through a referral from David. Derek did some work on, which is sold in Highton recently, so it's been fantastic. And so I know I've got that relationship and back up. I also work in schools. I do a couple of schools I visit and work in their vegetation for kids. They give me fantastic energy. They'll happily stick their hands into worm farms and pull out all sort of gooey stuff with worms and stuff getting into it. I run workshops. This one in particular was a workshop on did gardening, which we did in my garden. We're actually eating broccoli this week that these guys planted in that workshop. So it's a fantastic experience to be able to show that and share that. What I'm really excited about and what I spoke to you about in my 40 seconds this morning was this opportunity. Mine Harvest is a new veggie gardening program which I'm launching in September, helping people grow veggies in their own backyard. So we'll be able to subscribe to this online. It's an online delivered program which follows a calendar. They will get information on what to plant, when to plant it, tips and tricks, tool guides, videos, specifically instructing them what to do. It's all sort of topical around that time. In September there's information on what tomatoes to grow, thanks Fiona, and things like that. So I'll quickly head on to where I'm going. In our evolution, the Garden Coach becomes part of a bigger scope I've got coming called The Growing Man. It's a business I've got developing lots of ideas coming in my brain at the moment, which will be based around the book. My vision for being in the garden and building better relationships with my wife and my kids is a story there to tell. So a book and workshops will be coming around that. So I'll keep you updated as that work comes through. But my bread and butter clients are any person who wants specific gardening needs. These are people who want to easy to follow instructions. advice on new gardens around new homes, or they're wanting to sell and want their garden done up and don't know quite what to do with it, we do those sort of things as well. I love to work with people who love gardening. For me, that's a really great people to work with, and my own harvest is an extension of that, so that's coming up soon. My dream is to work with the likes of Jamie, Oliver and Hugh and Paul from River Cottage, Matthew and my family. They inspire me, and they're the people I like to spend time with, would like to spend time with, to help inspire gardeners that I come into contact with as well. And that's it. Thank you very much.